This video is about what I've learned from the pandemic. I've learnt 3 important life lessons from the pandemic so far, which I wanted to share in this video. To find out more, please stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the SCG Show, the home of education and entertainment. If you're new here, please hit the like button and turn your life around with our sponsor, BetterHelp. The link is in the description below. Now, just a disclaimer. I know people have different views on the pandemic. I'm not trying to push an agenda. I'm just sharing my experiences and lessons learned. So please be open-minded regarding this video. Thank you. Here's a bit of context. When the pandemic happened and hit the UK around March 2020, my dad got very ill, was rushed to hospital, and died a few weeks later at 62. If the pandemic never happened, my dad would still be alive. So we are one of many grieving families affected. But of course, others have lost loved ones due to delay in treatments for cancer, for example. Businesses have been closed down forever. People have lost their homes, jobs, other people, friends, whatever. The pandemic has been nothing short of a disaster, and almost everyone on the planet in some shape or form has been affected. I was wanting to create this video when the pandemic was officially over, but I don't have a crystal ball, and I have no idea what state the world will be in when you're watching this video. So I wish you health and safety. The 3 lessons I've learnt have been narrowed down from a much longer and much more detailed list. I struggled to pick the most important, but I thought the ones I selected were the most viable and suitable. My aim with this video is to inspire you to take on these lessons for your own life journey, for your better future. Not if, God forbid, another global disaster such as a pandemic happens, but more so that you can apply the lessons for a better quality of life. Of course, the lessons learned that is glaringly obvious that I've left out of the 3 is life is too short. But hopefully you already know that. 3 weeks before my dad got ill, he was sat opposite me alive and well, eating dinner without a care in the world. Not so long since our final meal together, he was pronounced dead. Now is the opportunity for you to chase those dreams, goals and ideas you might have been putting off. Tell that person how you really feel. To book that trip if we can. Do it now. We don't know what tomorrow may bring. Life has been cut even shorter due to the pandemic. Here is what I've learnt from the pandemic so far. In early 2020, I remember being sat with my dad and our family celebrating his final birthday. There were rumours about the pandemic and the virus spreading, but nobody really cared or paid attention to it. There we were, sat together, eating, drinking, celebrating his birthday at one of his favourite restaurants. Just a few months earlier, I walked away from a toxic relationship, so for me it was still kind of healing and recovering from that situation. But I soaked in every moment, every bite, every conversation, and I felt a rush of emotions come over me. I said to myself, life is good, we're lucky to be here, we're lucky to have each other. I don't know why, but almost everything I did, from going to grab a coffee, going to see a film, seeing friends, family, just felt special. Perhaps because I was healing from such a toxic, traumatic experience, made me appreciate those things even more. Friends asked me to go out for drinks in what was our final night out before the lockdowns, etc. I was about to decline, had it not been for my dad saying, "You deserve to have a laugh, a bit of fun. Go out there and enjoy yourself." Just a few weeks later, the country went into a national lockdown, with everything closing from that night out. But again, the drinks, the conversation, the music, the dancing, the whole night, I soaked it in and enjoyed every moment. The first lesson learnt from the pandemic was to take nothing for granted. It was sod's law as I was done with my healing and I was ready to go out and grab life by the horns, only to be locked down due to this situation. That's life, nothing we can do. But what we realistically can and should do is embrace and enjoy every moment we can. Just the other day I went for a coffee with a friend I had not seen in over a year. We sat down, had 2 espressos, which hardly cost anything, and had a conversation that lasted over 3 hours long. We laughed, we cried, we joked, we spoke about absolutely everything from the serious to the silly. We hugged at the end and said, "I needed that. Thank you so much." Literally, we said that to each other. No matter how big or small, take absolutely nothing for granted. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you are enjoying this video. The next lesson I learned was to become my own best friend from the pandemic. In my circumstances, I was medically vulnerable, meaning I had to be extremely careful with who I came into contact with, and seeing what happened to my dad really made me cautious. To cut a long story short, I had to become my own best friend, find ways to entertain myself, and so on. I already worked for myself alone, being my own boss for my businesses, and I was pretty much isolated from the world and grieving my dad. It was and has been such a tough road, make no mistake, but I know plenty others have had it far worse than me. I gradually saw more people at a distance and gained more and more confidence to do more, which I'm pleased about. But the fact of the matter was, I became my own best friend. I entertained myself, I kept myself busy, and enjoyed my own company. Prior to the pandemic, I was needy, insecure, and I could be annoying to people. I always had to be around people, seeing people, and I felt the need to always fit in and be accepted. With the combination of my recent toxic relationship ending, the lockdowns, aka the pandemic, made all of that insecurity go away. I would classify myself as a mild extrovert. I like hanging out with people, but I also have no problem being by myself. Just the other week, the weather was good, I had no plans, and I went to central London. I walked the streets, hit some shops, had some lunch, grabbed a bite to eat, was on my own with my headphones, read the newspaper, without a care in the world. The very next day, however, I was surrounded by friends and family for a barbecue, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It's a balance for me now. It's not the end of the world if I'm doing something alone. I strongly advocate my viewers to explore becoming their own best friend too. Explore new hobbies, try something different, travel if we can, discover new passions. Become your very own best friend. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, BetterHelp. The link is in the description below. The final lesson's brutal and vital to anyone's personal development. Don't rely on other people, no matter who they are or what they promise. Since losing Dad, there have been friends and family who've gone above and beyond to support our grief and pain, which we suffered alone in a lockdown of all circumstances. Yet at the same time, I've been severely let down by people who have been close friends and even close blood relatives, family members. How easy is it to be there for someone when life's good, things are easy, the sun is shining, the economy's stable? It's easy, it's a piece of cake. But what about when the chips are down, life throws a curveball, God forbid tragedy strikes your life? That is when you know who genuinely loves you and what's the best for you. I was heavily reliant on my father in many ways. It was his personality to protect and look after us. That was who he was as a person. And when he passed, I feared the worst. I worried we would fall to pieces without him. Luckily, despite his absence, me and my immediate family have shown great courage and strength and resilience in what has been such a difficult period. And sadly, some friends and even family threw us under the bus, caused drama and stress and problems, and still do so, rather than support us. Do not rely on other people. Never rely on others to be there for you when you're on your knees hurting. They will severely let you down. They will disappoint you. And also, don't wish for things to be easier. Just strive to be stronger, wiser, better equipped. It's like wishing for the summer when it's winter. The growth I've had to undertake in the last year or so has made me a shadow of the man I was before the pandemic. But I didn't have a choice. I chose to swim instead of sink. I'm not saying never love or trust a person again, but instead take ownership and full responsibility for your own life. That way, you can never be in a vulnerable position of having someone, especially a toxic person, dictate your life, your emotions, your finances, your relationships, and so on. Please, do not rely on others. Ever. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, here's some more content you might be interested in.